Amy Thurman here, back again with day 13 of 100 Days, 100 Emotions. Today we're talking about brave or bravery, what that means, what it feels like, and it's going to be a very interesting conversation. This is one you're going to want to tune in on for sure because I struggle with this sometimes, seeing it from a specific perspective. That's kind of hard to say. Specific perspective. But my friend Colleen is joining us today, and I love her perspective on this. I can't wait for you to hear what she has to share with you today. So let me bring up Colleen here to our conversation. Colleen, thank you so much for joining us today.
I am so grateful to be here and so excited to have this conversation with you today.
I,
Um,
I
I love this thing that you're doing because we don't always talk about emotions and like picking them apart can be difficult. So like one emotion a day is a good thing to do.
yeah, I agree. Thank you so much for the input. I talk a lot about how men really don't want to talk about emotions. They don't want to feel them. They don't want to let them surface. But in our conversation before we came on live, I realized that we women do the same thing, except we seem to have more emotions, but we don't really identify them and we don't take credit for them. And so I'm so
Mhm.
eager to get into this conversation with you. Um, Today we're talking about the feeling of brave or bravery. I like to pop up some text to start off with so that we can bounce off of this. And this is what I found this week about bravery. Recognizing bravery encourages a growth mindset as you acknowledge your willingness to step outside your comfort zone and take risks. It also involves a sense of vulnerability as you step into the unknown. And so that there's so much there that we could unpack. So much there. Do you want to address anything here, Colleen?
I'm on a big mindset kick right now because I have had some things that have kicked me in the butt this past year. And so, you gotta, get your mind in the right place. And I think sometimes we forget that doing that is brave. Like until your mind is where it needs to be, your actions, you're going to get what I call lost in the slosh. You're just spinning and you're not seeing any action because you're not bringing the right energy and attention to it, because we're all energy. We're all atoms, and energy is what we are. And so if you don't bring the right energy into any situation, you're going to get the bad energy reflected back to you, because we're also all mirrors for the energy that we get. And so, I think if you've ever worked in retail, like the grumpy person who gets in your face, it's very difficult to not like take on that energy and figure out how to like not become an unprofessional person. So I think that, you have to, before even you can take the risk or get out of your comfort zone, you have to work on your mindset. You have to be in the right mindset to do that, because if you're not, I truly believe you're going to fail, because uh, you need to go in with the right spirit of adventure. So
Oh,
that's the thing. All I think I have to say about that one.
you are speaking my language. Oh my goodness. So good. Yes, exactly. All of what she just said. Yes. Okay, so I'll pop that off and let you go ahead and share what story that you brought with you today to share with us about being brave and what you have learned from that or what that has helped to teach you in your life.
So it's been an interesting journey for me this past year. I came into the year thinking life was going to be great. At Christmas was good, and I'd signed up to a program I was really excited to be a part of, and all of that good fun stuff. And then I suddenly couldn't sleep, and I started doing the circle thing, and I suddenly realized, oh wait, like I'd been distracted by Christmas and all kinds of other things that were going on. I was experiencing extreme anxiety,
Yeah.
and it literally, like, I could not function. And so, okay, go back to therapy. I got to go back to therapy. And for me, like, that seems like a brave choice, but it really Like I had to do it. I had to do it because I couldn't show up for people the way I needed to do it. And like I believe in energy, and like the universe, whatever your higher power is, aligned that okay, I got into therapy, I was getting better, and then my mother had a serious medical issue. My mother's not online, so I'm going to keep it to bare minimums because she doesn't really want to show up. But it was the type of injury that is going to affect her, have a long recovery period. And it's a type of injury where you're in the hospital, you have to do rehab, you have to do physical therapy. And, you know, I'm her caretaker. So this fall happened, and I was home, thank God. And we got her to the hospital. We got, everything got, it wasn't great, but it was the best not great it could be.
Yes, I know that.
Sometimes that's your thing. And so, she was in ICU, and she was in, all of these things. And, I showed up every day because, like, what do you do? It's not like you don't show up. Like, that's not okay. We all have a choice. And I could make the choice not to show up, but my values and my love for her and my beliefs would not allow that choice to be considered. So, of course, I got up every day and I went to see her in the hospital. And when we moved her to rehab, I got up every day. And then when she came home, I took care of her. And people were like, oh, you're so brave. And I'm like, I just was doing the thing. Like, what am I going to do? Am I not going to see her in the hospital? Am I
Right.
not going to be her caretaker when she gets home? And, those are things that I have done that I don't see them as brave. I see them as just what you do as a good human being. You go to the hospital. Keep your siblings informed. You show up. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
they say half of things are just showing up, maybe like half of bravery is you just show up and do the job nobody wants to do, you know?
Right.
Um,
Yes.
and that is brave, but it's really hard to see it as brave because to me, it's like it was not a choice. It was my life. It was what I was going to do. It's what you do as, a loving daughter, as a good person, as, somebody who wants your mother to get better. You
Right.
show up. And so, yeah, it was an interesting thing to suddenly get the people who are like, oh, you're so brave for doing this. Oh, you're an angel. And there are parts of me like deep inside that were like, but I don't want to be an angel. I
Mm.
just want to be a person. Like
Yeah.
I don't want, because that's a lot of pressure
A
to
lot of
put on yourself,
responsibility. Right.
to be an angel. Like angels are perfect.
Yeah.
Like I am not perfect. In the middle of this, I had moments where I was tired. I was resentful, that like, okay, my life has stopped. That's not easy. Those are not fun feelings to have. And when you're brave and when you're this angel, oh, they don't have those feelings, right? They're not the
Mm.
people who get mad at the world or God or whatever because this happened to their mother and it's not fair. You know what I mean? Angels
Yeah.
just like they're in the flow and they're ethereal. Superheroes, they show up and they do the thing they need to do. And I'm like, I'm just day by day trying to live my life. That's all I'm doing. And
Right. You're
that's,
you're
I know that people meant it in a loving way. I
yeah.
know that people meant it in a way of gratitude because they love my mom and they wanted her taken care of. But that was an unnecessary pressure I really didn't need at this moment in my life. I'm like, you
Right.
mean after all of this, I also have to be perfect and not have ugly feelings and not get impatient and not want my life back? You
Yeah.
know, I
Yeah.
remember talking to my therapist and I said, I miss just getting into a car and being able to go to Starbucks and have a coffee and not have to think about anything involving this. And
Yeah.
I don't know when that's going to happen again. And I miss that life. And people, yeah, you're doing the brave thing, but that doesn't mean you don't have the ugly feelings underneath it. And I had to get to a place where I was okay with having the ugly feelings underneath it. And like the universe aligned things because I already was in this. And I had somebody who said, it's okay to mourn that life.
Yeah.
It's okay
I've
to get
been
past
there.
it.
Yes.
Yeah. It's okay to say, and she talked to me. She said, I talked about this with like new mothers sometimes when they're overwhelmed. She's like, radical acceptance.
Mhm.
Like, you can't change this. This happened. You're going to deal with it. You can resent it or you can embrace it in a way that's like radical and like, okay, this is where I'm at. And I see the wisdom of it and I'm working at it, but I'm not there yet. It's a day-to-day thing. I'm a day-to-day person right now. And that's just the reality of what happens.
Yeah,
Um,
you have so much. I mean, there's so much insight there. And we talked a little bit about this before we came on live, but that quiet bravery that so many of us experience, but we don't see it that way. Like
yeah,
my doing this 100 days, people have told me that they think I'm brave for doing this. And just exactly as you explained that it's something I feel like I have to do. Like I've been given this for a reason and I have to share it. I have to
yeah.
spread this message. And so I'm doing it. And I don't really consider myself brave for doing it because I'm just doing it. It's a decision I've made that I'm doing. And so it's really interesting to think about that. Do you want to talk about that quiet bravery for just a minute?
So I've come to the realization that there is loud and there's quiet. And the loud bravery are the people who go in and get people out of fires or pull people away, or they have this one moment of, oh crap, this is happening, and if I don't do something right this very second, something bad, it's going to happen. And we see them on the news. That's loud bravery, and that's what I think we think bravery
Mhm.
is like it's this big thing where you get medals and you get attention. And most of those people who they interview, they're just like, how could I do something else?
Right,
They're just like in their life, and in this moment something needed to be done. They didn't think about it, they just moved, like they did the thing.
right.
But most of bravery, I don't think, is that. And most of bravery isn't really recognized as bravery.
Mhm.
Like, I got up when my mom was in the hospital. What was I going to do? I got up every morning, I put on my clothes, I ate breakfast, and I went to visit her. Is that brave? Having to see my mother with tubes and wires, it was heartbreaking. It was, terrible. And there are days I did not want to do it, honestly, but I did it. And you know what? That's brave. And
Yeah,
most of the time, bravery is quiet. Most of the time, bravery is just doing the things you need to do. Sometimes bravery is just putting one foot in front of the other. And I think the problem is, we only see big bravery, that we forget, like, most of bravery isn't about medals and media attention and this big thing. Most of bravery is small. Most of bravery is in the everyday little choices that we make going forward to serve the people we love. You know what I mean?
mhm.
That's what it is. And it's not like I don't think about things, but I have made choices. And those choices I very deliberately narrowed certain things that are not going to be in my realm of possibility. That's brave, to
Yeah,
willingly say, I'm not going to go to Starbucks just because I want to and leave I can't do that, but I'm not going to do that, you know? And I think that's harder. I think, that's the hardest thing about bravery, is that people don't recognize it and they don't give you the attention, that I would like, which is like, I get that this is so hard, but I admire that you're just getting up and doing the thing. Like
yeah,
that is an easier, that's much less stress than I'm an angel. That's
right.
just like, I see you and I acknowledge that this is hard and I respect that you're doing it anyway. You know,
Yes. It's like
that
you
is,
said, you said before we started, it's like the mom
mhm,
who gets up, takes the kids to school, runs them to all of their events and their activities, and puts her life on hold
mhm,
because she's doing all the things for all the kids. And that's a form of bravery
it
because she
is.
continues to do it. Because I can tell you from experience, you don't always, like you said, you don't always feel like doing it. You don't always want to, but you choose to do it anyway because of your care and love for the people that are involved. And
Mhm,
so I love this so much that you're bringing this to our attention because so many of us experience bravery in a quiet way, but we don't
mhm.
see it that way. But we
No.
need to start seeing it that way. We need to start viewing ourselves as, I'm brave. I did that. I'm brave. And at least acknowledging it for ourselves, not necessarily expecting other people to acknowledge it too, but just
Yeah.
internally being able to say to myself, that took some bravery. I'm proud of myself.
Yeah.
You know,
And
that can be life changing too.
I also think it's so important to acknowledge, help your friends and your family see those little moments of, um, you know, I had a situation where, this happened and my life stopped. Like,
Yeah.
it does when you have a huge medical emergency. And I had my brother come in, and I probably will start to cry. So
It's okay.
tears might happen.
It's
But
okay.
he looked at me, and he just visited my sister in Arizona. And he came in and he said, Deanna and I are worried about you.
Mm,
We see that you have had to do this hard thing, and we haven't helped, that it is all laid on you. And we want you to know that we see you and we care about you.
wow.
That moment has gotten me through all of this. It
It's
was not,
powerful.
you're an
Yeah.
angel. It was not, you're brave. It was, we see you. We know this is hard. We know that you've had to carry this load. Are you okay? And you have no idea if you have that person in that moment where you say something like that, that moment can make everything that comes after so much easier.
Yeah. Just recognizing it,
Mhm.
seeing it, and letting people know you see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's so so good. Oh my goodness, I love this so much. So our question today is, what moments of quiet bravery have you not given yourself credit for? Because, like Colleen mentioned, we all have something in our lives that we're doing that we don't necessarily want to do, but we do it because there's something at stake. Whether it's a relationship, whether it's financial, it may be you going to work every day in a job that you hate. That could be considered brave for just going and doing it, continuing to do it, making up your mind to do it. So I would love for you to share that with us in the comments. What moments of quiet bravery have you not given yourself credit for? Because we need to be aware of those. We need to make ourselves aware and be appreciative for ourselves for doing that, for continuing to do that. Because, like I said, that can be life changing as well. Okay, so the next thing I like to do on these is I have used an AI image generator to create an image. I ask it to create an image that represents the feeling of being brave. And so I love to look at these because they're just fascinating. Like, how does it know this? But it's always so, so accurate. So let me pull it up here. I will full screen it. And I mean, this
Oh,
one, it's kind of a given. Like,
ooh.
it's, yeah. Isn't it cool? Like the thing that
Oh, I
jumps out
love
at me
this.
are the dead trees on the sides. Like
Yes.
there's
I'm,
it's lacking life. I mean, they're still alive, but you know what I mean. But this
yeah,
person
no,
is standing up there achieving
it's,
something, doing something, even though there's, dead trees on the side.
and there is light ahead. And I think sometimes we forget, like, being brave, that, like, oh, wait, there can be an end to this. Like, yeah, the kids are going to grow up. And if you've done your job right, they're going to make their own life,
Yeah.
and do a good job. I think, part of bravery is, when you're in it, you have to have something to look forward to. And I
Yeah.
will never forget this movie, and I don't remember the name of it, and it kills me. But it was Robert Duvall, and he's discovered that he has a half brother who is African American. And so he goes to visit this brother, get to know him, and he's talking to his nephew. And the nephew had been a professional football player and had an injury and like lost kind of everything. And he tells this story where he about a guy in his town who, you know, he worked as like a repairer, and he had a wife, and he would work so hard, and then every month they would go to the city and do something fun. And then she passed away, and then he adopted a son. And it was the same thing. He would work really hard, save up. They'd go to the city once a month, and he'd buy him a toy, or they'd do, go to the movies. And he says, that's life. Life is just having something to look forward to.
Mm.
And like, I love this because in the moment when you're being brave and you're looking around and you're just doing the thing and you're being busy, I think it's easy to see those trees and be
Yeah.
like there's nothing here. But you have to give yourself the gift of something to look forward to. And it doesn't even have to be a big thing. Like, okay, I'm going to get a brownie from, my favorite bakery and eat it by myself and not share it with anybody. You know what I mean?
I do know. Yes.
And so I think, that's another thing about being brave, is that sometimes you can survive being brave by having that little thing to look forward to. And it doesn't even have to be a big thing. What is the thing that you love that you don't have to explain to anybody
Yeah.
that can get you through? Because
The little
that's
reward. Yeah.
mhm, is everything. And I think that reminds us of it, that like, yes, there's a big daunting light ahead to get to, but you know what? It's something to look forward to,
Yeah.
you
There's
know?
just a little bit of hope. We have to give
Mhm.
ourselves a little slimmer of hope to help us get past that, to help us get to where that light is.
Yeah.
So, so good. Oh, see, I need people like you in my life. Like, that was so good. I never would have even seen it that way or explained it that way. And I need to tell y'all that I have had several conversations with Colleen. We have had several Zoom chats, and oh my word, Colleen, I don't know if I've told you this, but how much you have helped me see things from
Oh.
a different perspective. Like, I will just
Mhm.
give her, this is what happens with Colleen. You give her one little idea and she like runs with it. She's like, oh, you could do this and you could do this, and you could do this. And she's like full of ideas. Like, you are an idea generator, like on fire. I have notes and notes of things I have taken from my visits with Colleen. So if you want someone to explore your brain, like an idea, oh my goodness, she's definitely your gal. I will let me pop up your website here, and Colleen, if you
Yes.
don't mind telling them a little bit about what you do.
So I am president and a creative business writer at Century Plant Publishing. We help small business owners find words that resonate with their ideal clients. I focus on the two most personal parts of your website, the parts that you have to put the you into. You take out the business and put in the you, which is your About Me page and your blog. So I do blog strategy, and I help people and companies, small companies, create their About Me sections, because those are the things where you actually get to show up as a person, not a business person, but a person. And so that's what I help you do. I help with strategy. You can sign up. I have a 30-minute anything session. So like anything marketing or idea wise, come to me. I'll play devil's advocate if you need to. If you need some ideas, that's great. But yeah, I love helping the small business owner um, find their voice and do the thing they want to do, because my dream is I'll get them to the point where, okay, they're big enough and they can replace me with a marketing person. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? They have somebody full time because they've gotten big enough that they have a line in their budget that says I can hire a marketing person.
Right?
That is my goal for my people, is
Yeah.
they don't need me anymore. Parent, you get them to the point where
Yeah.
they always love you, but that you have given them all the things that they need to go out and build a successful life. That's my dream.
That's so good. Like I said, oh my goodness, so full of ideas. Like picking Colleen's brain is just like magic. It has been for me. I have springboarded so many ideas, so many things from the ideas that Colleen gave me. So I'm telling you, just book one of those free sessions with her, and you will see she's full of ideas. Love it so much. I will. Um, put your website link down in the comment section. If
Thanks
you're
so much.
watching, of course, if you're watching on Facebook, I will link Colleen's profile at the description so you can reach out to her there too. So, anyway, I think that will do it. Thank you so much,
Okay.
Colleen, for being
Thank
here and
you.
sharing
This
that
was
with us.
lovely.
Oh my goodness, so good. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. I hope you're enjoying this series. If you have found it helpful or think that other people will find it helpful, please share. Please share it. If you would like to be a guest feature, I would love to have you. Or if you know someone you think would be a good guest, let me know. Connect us. And so I will plug you or plug them in. I still have lots of openings. And so I'm still looking for lots of people, every size, shape, color, denomination. It doesn't matter. I want all kinds of people on here to share what they've learned with us. So thank you for watching. I'm so thankful for all of you for tuning in and for all of the support and feedback that you're giving me. It helps me so much. So until tomorrow, y'all have a good day. Bye.
Bye.